Hey, what's up guys? In this video we're going to Trinidad, Tobago. We're going to hop back down to Australia and try to put the wildfire situation down here into perspective. I've got some numbers on just how big this wildfire, or these wildfires actually are, collectively consuming most of the coast of Australia. Just incredible. I've also got a picture from the International Space Station that looks like there are multiple fires in the photo from Australia, something I've never seen quite so dramatic from the ISS. We're going to take a look at that here in just a moment. But first, we're here at Manzanilla Beach in Trinidad, Tobago. My friend Ricky sent me some information from right along this coastline right here of what's being described as millions of jellyfish scattered along the shorelines. We've seen this before over the years, a few thousand, maybe 10,000 or so. I've never seen any in the millions. So we're going to take a look at a link that he shared with me on Instagram, and it is right here from Red967TT, and he's on Manzanilla Beach. And you're going to see, he says he, as far as he can see in both directions, both sides, he just said millions upon millions. Look at that. As far as he can see.
Be careful when you come to Manzanilla Beach. Watch it. Check it out. Like worms on the shoreline. Watch it. Worms. Whole shoreline like that.
The entire shoreline is just completely covered with jellyfish. They've seen jellyfish on the shores before, but never that many. These photos were shared with me by Ricky from Trinidad. The video, once again, was Red967TT on Instagram from Manzanilla Beach in Trinidad. Just incredible. Speaking of incredible, we're here at nullschool.net. You're looking at the carbon monoxide content being measured in the air from some of the more extreme wildfires in Australia. They're extending now all the way over to Perth. Simon, I got your email from Perth, but I wasn't able to open it. Simon sent me some details of the wildfire, bushfire situation over in Perth now. It's extending all along the southern coast, up around the east, northeastern coast, and even the north and parts of the northwestern coast and the interior. Never seen anything quite like this. Some estimates are saying we have over 200 independent wildfires burning right now. The majority of them are down here near New South Wales, Canberra, along the southeastern coast of Australia, visible from space. These are very high carbon monoxide contents, by the way, and they should be with the density and extent of these wildfires and how long they've been going on. Several weeks since 2019, late 2019. The wildfire smoke is extending clear over and beyond New Zealand now quite easily. You can see here at zoomearth.com, we've got wildfires now on the southern coast, all the way over near Perth, and I think this wildfire here was visible at one time from the International Space Station, along with all of these as well, and I'm going to get to that right here. Look at this. Now this is at an unusual angle. Keep in mind we're like 250 miles above the Earth in the International Space Station, and this is the webcam, and this is a still image from the webcam. And I don't think that's a reflection. It could be a reflection of maybe what's going on over here. You got to keep in mind we're at an odd angle. The light's going to do some odd things up here, but I think what we're seeing here are wildfires along the coast of Australia from the International Space Station. This again could be a reflection down here of these wildfires, or it could be the wildfires that we just saw closing in on Perth right over here. They could have been at a peak when the space station went past. I don't know, but it does seem to be consistent with the coastline and the terrain of Australia. See, it kind of lines up with what we're seeing here. But again, it's at an odd angle. 250 miles above the earth, looking down. So is that wildfire smoke? If you adjust the color a little bit, which I'll do real quick for you right here, it brings out a little more of the orange that does definitely look like wildfires. And over off to the right, you can see what looks like a haze over here. That looks like smoke to me. So I don't know. I've never seen anything quite that large from the space station on the ground with regard to wildfires. But again, the situation down here is it's just beyond anything I think we've ever seen in modern times. This is some data from January 3rd, or up to January 3rd, of what's going on in Australia. Up to 12 million acres have been consumed by wildfires, bushfires. Since they started, 1,300 homes, and these are approximate numbers, but I think they're pretty close, 2,500 buildings. There are 17,000 volunteer firefighters trying to get these wildfires under control. Today, the winds are gusting in the neighborhood of 50 miles per hour, which is making this task even more difficult. There's at least 200 wildfires burning, stretching more than 400 miles now. This is an incredible number right here. 500 million wildlife have been lost in these wildfires. That's 500 million and counting, because the wildfires are obviously still going. That is unbelievable. Right now, it's got the world's worst air quality, which is understandable. Smoke easily reaching New Zealand and beyond. 30% of the koala population has been lost in these horrific wildfires. So just an unbelievable scene once again in Australia. And I wanted to put some numbers to what's going on down here because they're quite staggering. Australia will be decades recovering from this, if it'll ever be the same again. That is a huge dent in the ecosystem down here. A lot of the wildlife will have to relocate because their source of food has disappeared in these wildfires. So like I said, this will never be the same. And I've heard that these wildfires are creating some of their own weather at times. Just incredible. If you look on Google Earth, just for comparison's sake, the wildfires in Australia are the equivalency of in size to the entire coastline of the United States being on fire all at the same time, with some areas in the interior, much like you see in Australia. Across the United States, as the crow flies, 2,500 miles approximately. If we go down to Australia and measure, and you've seen the map, there's wildfires pretty much around the entire perimeter of Australia, coast to coast. We go west coast to east coast. You're looking at 2,400 miles, and wildfires are scattered all along the coastlines and parts of the interior of Australia. So spanning now for over 2,000 miles, 17,000 men and women are fighting these fires. They have been shuttling people from parts of southeastern Australia by boat. The Royal Navy has taken people to safe locations. People have had to literally abandon their homes, their communities, because the wildfires are so big, and at the rate that they're going, it's going to be a while yet. We're here at windy.com looking at some of the wind gusts currently going on in southeastern Australia, and you can see near Malakuta, where there were a lot of evacuations, thousands of people fleeing that area, wind gusts today of 50 miles per hour, making these wildfires extremely difficult to manage. So once again, guys, we are thinking of you down in Australia. I keep an eye on this every day, and I'm just absolutely flabbergasted at the size and scope of these wildfires. I've never seen anything quite like it. Kind of like this next picture here out of Toronto. We've seen things like this, but the size and scope of this cloud is quite remarkable. This is a photo that was sent in to me by Justin from Toronto. I received that yesterday, and also there was an article written about this very massive cloud that swept over Toronto. This is at blogto.com, and it's dated yesterday. This is a picture of the cloud that Justin sent me. Justin was up in a building, obviously, probably 15 or 20 stories up in the air. Looks like a massive triangle cloud going over Toronto. Article, like I said, dated yesterday out of Toronto. Now that's what you call sky phenomenon. Just incredible. I've also got a new picture slideshow I want to share with you guys, some new sky phenomena that have been sent in recently from all around the world. And guys, I'm working on many more. Keep them coming. Abe S. out of Phoenix, Arizona. Very low orange clouds. Amy Ray. What you've got here is the moon, and if you look real close, you can see what looks like a very large hole punch cloud in the proximity of the moon at night. Speaking of the moon, spectacular photo here by Dave B. of North Phoenix, Arizona, of the moon and all of its craters. Dennis L. from Concord, New Hampshire. This is kind of interesting because it looks like rainbow swirls around the sun in the clouds. And here's a negative format of the same photograph, and you can see, and that's what he saw before he even took the photograph, those rainbows look like they're going counterclockwise. They're not moving, but they look like they are in a swirl position. Belleair Beach, Florida. Photo sent in by Jason. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Some roll clouds in the skies above Oklahoma, sent in by Jeanette. Jeff from the United Kingdom took this photo in Malta. Very unique photograph. You've got this cloud here that almost looks like a profile of an airplane. The sun's way down here on the horizon, very bright, but the clouds in between are dull, and this one's very bright. Just a unique photograph that caught his attention, and I agree, that was very unique. Jesse of an incredible orange sky. Not exactly sure of the location there. John P. took a photo of Orion in the eastern sky. If you go outside and conditions are clear, you can see Orion high in the eastern sky just shortly after dark. Here's the photo I just showed you. I had it in the picture slideshow from Toronto, sent in by Justin, of that spectacular cloud that actually made the news. Corona, California. Lexi H. of some fiery photos of the sunset along coastal California. You just don't get much more orange than that. Spectacular photographs. Bandera, Texas. Michael T. And we've got what looks like another version of the cloud that went over Toronto. You've got all blue skies up here. You've got that very definitive edge in the sky that looks like a blanket in the sky. Very long cloud that is visible as far as he could see in both directions. Great little video out of Bandera, Texas. Mike O. from Rockland, California. What looks like a gigantic A in the sky. Mara R. of a very unique orange and yellow cloud in the sky, kind of setting up there all by itself. Pat S. from Sweden. Light purple sky that even colored the ground in snow purple. Melbourne Beach, Florida. Ruthie of the sun as it's coming up over the horizon out over the Atlantic Ocean. Miami Beach. This was taken from surfline.com on New Year's Day. Purples and pinks coming up over the horizon from Miami Beach. This was above Florida. Photo taken by Scott S. from an airplane. And you've got yet another example of these double-decker clouds. You can see right through. You've got a low deck of clouds and an upper deck of clouds visible from an airplane. Great photograph, Scott. Tim T. I'm not exactly sure where this photo was taken, but here in a minute you're going to see the sun kind of tucked in behind these clouds, and the upper third of the sun is absent in the photograph. What happened to the light? Kind of a unique photograph there, sent in by Tim T. Another photo by Tim of some unique gray, blackish looking clouds that are going through the sun. Channel Islands, Harbor Sunset, Verna E. This is off the coast of California. Kind of similar to the photos that Lexi sent in earlier. Just absolutely beautiful. Those are hallmark moments right there. Tomball, Texas. Photos sent in by War Chief. And it looks like this cloud is moving through the sky, creating waves or drag behind it. Look at that. Just an incredible photograph. Good observation out of Tomball, Texas. That's a unique looking cloud. Another one from Texas by War Chief. Big bright orange wedge looking cloud up in the sky. And here's some more orange and blues and just all kinds of activity there. Good observation. Zach T. from Washington. He said the photo didn't do the sky any justice for what he was looking at. He said it reminded him of a city in the sky. These vertical structures looked like buildings lit up, with lights. Just an awesome photograph, once again by Zach out of the state of Washington. Here's the entire photograph. Caesar D, not sure of the location once again, but this is an incredible photograph of some sort of airplanes flying over in formation. Here's a little video clip he took of the moment, and you can see back here they are low on the horizon, or at least fairly low, come up over his location, and they are in some sort of a formation. And when you zoom in, it's hard to tell what type of airplanes that they are. I zoomed in right here. In fact, you can't even see them. They're up so high in the sky. Good observation by Caesar. I'm not exactly sure of the location, but really neat little video and photos here. See, I zoom in and you can't see the airplanes. They blend in quite perfectly with the sky. So good job, guys. Once again, you are wide awake and on the ball. Keep the photos coming. If you have any you'd like to share, you can send those to reports at MrMBB333.com. All of the photos end up here at the Sky Phenomena Photo Gallery. In fact, I've updated it today. Sometimes I use the pictures in a video slideshow, much like you saw right here. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.